so nice to meet everyone, dear commission, my friends, group mates and guests of today's event. Today I'm going to tell you about development space MVC based iOS application. First of all, let's talk about the common issues. For example, everybody knows that information in IT sphere increase exponentially each day. And lots of servers very soon will come to its limit. So in this case, we have to do something with it. And one of the ways to solve that problem is move all load from the server side to the client side. And first of all, we have to create new ways of creation the application. So that is why in this diploma's work, we have to review different ways of creating mobile applications, research advantages and disadvantages MVC architecture and customize it, and we have to review all other modern architectures for the iOS development. And based on this architecture, we have to create example of iOS application and of course calculate the economic worth of the project. But the first thing first, we have to review application creation stages. There are 6 stages. First 4 are theoretical or preparational stages. As you can see, creating idea, creating design, selecting technology, selecting architecture and pattern. These stages are theoretical because we just prepare to create the application. And the 2 last stages, writing the code, testing, fixing bugs and release, this is the practical stage. This is exactly where work is burned. And let's start from the selecting the modern technology for our project. We are going to create 3 applications that will be combined in one ecosystem. And the first one is spelled health. For that, we have reviewed 4 the most well-spread technologies to the iOS development. This is Objective-C, Swift, React Native, and Flutter. Objective-C and Swift are the native solutions for that goals, and that is why comparing them, we have selected Swift because of its performance and speed. The next step is selecting the pattern. Currently there are 3 patterns in the programming: object-oriented programming, OOP, protocol-oriented programming, POP, and functional programming. According to Swift paradigmas, functional programming is not supported by Swift. So that is why we were selecting from OOP and POP. According to common technologies and huge community, we have selected object-oriented programming. And one of the most important steps is architecture. On this slide you can see 3 the most well-spread architectures for the iOS development. The MVC, according to the Apple documentation, MVVM and Viper. All these technologies are very modern and allows developers to solve lots of issues in the development, but they all have one big disadvantage. This is they don't have the layer that works exactly with network. All network loads goes usually on the module layer or data layer. So that is why we decided to take the most fast and the most performance architecture is MVC. But we decided to customize it. And right now I introduce you MVCCL architecture. As you can see, green squares, this is the common MVC architecture. And we decided to add cross-layer that we called exactly cross-layer. According to iOS specification and iOS features, we decided to connect it to the file app delegate upscope. Exactly, upscope is an engine of cross-layer layer. But a modern architecture is not the only one thing that we have reviewed. For our goal to create ecosystem of free applications, we decided to review protocols of transfer the data. And currently the whole internet looks like this model. Each service has its own server or amount of servers and amount of clients. We decided to take peer-to-peer protocol because it allows us to omit totally server side. And in this case, this is one of the solutions that allows exactly decrease loads on the server. But we a little bit modified it because currently peer-to-peer protocol, for example, uTorrent works like this. Each client, or not only each client, has the copy of the file. For example, some movie with the size of 5 gigabytes. And each client has this file. We decided to modify it. We decided to store the one file separately on each client. Of course, we have to think about copies, reserved copies, because if, for example, one client goes out from the system and it has this part of file, we have to send this part to the client that in the system. So one more thing, one more modification, we decided to do a random transferring the data. It means, for example, if client 2 says, I need a file, it can, for example, get this file by different ways. For example, red arrows shows the first way and yellow arrows shows the second way. This is the example of file uploading. For example, one user wants to upload the file in the system. After uploading the file, the whole files separate on different pieces which have each flag. Due to these flags, a user can download the whole file or can get the access exactly to small pieces. For example, if you want to see some movie in online mode, you just need, for example, this and this part. You don't need to download all files. And if, for example, one client says, I need file, it sends the request to the system and system returns the whole file. And now let's talk about technical task about the spell's health. This application has to own different ways of authorization. We decided in iOS part to select authorization via email and Google services. After authentication, each user has to get access to the health screen and to the other screen. For example, food screen and settings screen. This application has to be implemented on MVC-CL architecture. And we decided to follow solid conceptions. We created roadmap to explain in more details how should it look like. The first, when user launch the application, it appears on the login screen where it has Google sign-in functionality and email sign-in functionality. After authorization, user appears exactly on the health screen. It's shown by the red arrow. On the health screen, as said my colleague Anton, we have different cards that allows users to track its habits, to track its activity, and two more screens, exactly food screen and settings screen. And here you see the login screen, and here is example empty login screen via Google services, registration via email, and some case, for example, if user enters the wrong password. And here is an example of using MVC-CL. For example, if we create this application with common MVC, we have to go for 9 steps. Using MVC-CL, we have to do it quicker for the 8 steps. 7, excuse me. the health screen, as you saw, as mentioned my colleague, we have here different cards of activities, steps, exercise, water, control the weight, pulse and sleep. And I have to say that currently we lead the conversation with Xiaomi, and they provide us by the code of Xiaomi Mi Band to track exactly steps, pulsing and sleep. And here is example of the following solid conception. Here you can see all these 5 rules of solid conception, but I allocate the most needed conception is the first one, single responsibility. And here is example where we create exactly UI elements like cells, for example, on the health screen, each card. We create different rows to register these cells, and we inherit these rows in the main base row. This base row we implement in our main view controller on our main screen, and it allows us to encapsulate all data from different classes. Here is example of the full screen. As you can see, here is menu. If, for example, we click on this button, we can select prepared menus, we can customize existing, and we can create our own menu. Here is an example where we can create, where we can select prepared menu. For example, if user wants to lose weight or gain weight, we prepare different programs for that. And example where we can create our own menu. All data that we get for these goals goes from the Firebase Google services. And here is example of the settings screen. The main screen of settings screen, where we can see personal data, notification language, theme, privacy policy, and logout button. As you can see on the personal data screen, user can see its parameters and recommendations. These recommendations we are going to create by the Amazon Cognito services that allows to analyze different data. Example of other screens, language, theme, and privacy policy. And here is the price of the application. The total price with all taxes is around $27,000, but we calculated the whole project from the scratch. For example, if we have to hire developers, if we have to buy laptops and others gadgets. Usually this price is lower in twice. So, in conclusion, I would like to say that we have reviewed modern technologies, patterns, and architectures. We compare different technologies for operation in the iOS application and have selected several of them. Based on MVC architecture, we have created the new architecture that we have called MVCCL. We have reviewed protocol of transfer the data, and we proposed modification of it. We have created the spells application, and we have calculated the cost of all projects. So that's it, and thank you for your attention.
Ну, по существу я ничего спросить толкового не смогу, но удовлетворите мое любопытство.
Да.
Вы разрабатывали эту программу для устройств фирмы Apple?
Да, программу под операционную систему iOS, которая стоит на устройствах компании Apple.
Скажите, насколько масштабными должны быть изменения, вот, допустим, в вашей программе для того, чтобы его переделать на Android?
Дело в том, что, как я сказал на одних из первых слайдов, мы выбрали нативную технологию для разработки iOS-приложений. То есть мы выбрали Swift. Чтобы переделать полностью вот конкретно с этого проекта под Android, это нужно практически все с нуля делать.
Спасибо.
Какой у вас любопытство?
Ну, на самом деле вопросов-то много. Весьма с подозрением отношусь к тем устройствам, которые пытаются контролировать, что я ем, сколько хожу, сколько пью воды и так далее. Тем более это устройство обмануть всегда легко. По сути, все данные ввожу самостоятельно, типа мне говорят, выпей побольше воды, я говорю, да, нажимаю кнопку, иду, ну не знаю, пить пиво или кушать бургер. Скажите, пожалуйста, кроме этого устройства, какие еще нужны дополнительные девайсы для того, чтобы как-то контролировать юзера,
Ну, смотрите.
который за здоровьем?
Я понял ваш вопрос. На данный момент мы ведем переговоры с компанией Xiaomi, и в качестве жеста доброй воли они нам предоставили доступ как раз вот к этим ивентам, как я сказал, которые могут контролировать в нашем случае пульс, сон и количество шагов. В будущем же, если мы придем к соглашению, они обещают нам предоставить доступ ко многим другим их смарт-девайсам, такие как, например, смарт-весы. У меня дома есть уже одни такие.
Это благодаря им вы знаете, сколько процентов воды, жира, костей и мускулов?
Да, то есть они говорят о том, что стопроцентное показание они не дают. То есть это не так, что мы встали, взвесились и вот точно знаем, что у нас ровно 22% жира в организме. Нет, это не так. Они говорят приблизительно, но даже с точки зрения людей, которые хотят более или менее вести здоровый образ жизни, они могут этим пользоваться. И если мы придем к соглашению, то компания Xiaomi нам предоставит доступ ко всем API их устройств. Тем самым мы их интегрируем полностью в приложение, и пользователь сам сможет, если на данный момент, допустим, вес мы сами там взвесили, встали на весы и ввели в приложение, то дальше мы просто взвесились, и у нас данные уже все здесь. Вот. То есть контроль, да, контроль будет с помощью как раз Xiaomi, а все остальное добровольно.
Отлично. Значит, компания Xiaomi, она заинтересована в ваших разработках и можем считать, что это реальный проект?
Ну, в какой-то степени да. Они нам как бы предложили один вариант инвестиций, но он какой-то мутный. Поэтому мы еще будем это все обговаривать, и нам нужен юрист.
Понятно, спасибо большое.
Есть вопрос?
Есть на русском и на английском.
Как вам удобнее.
You are modded P2P protocol.
Yes.
Why? One moment. In this case, you must write driver for server path and client path. I not see it in your presentation.
Yes. Let me move on this slide. Exactly here, I said that current internet looks like this. Each service has its own server and amount of clients. And we propose the solution where we can omit totally server. So each user is a kind of part of the server. Each user will store some pieces of data that will be in the system. And we are going to create reserved copies of these pieces if, for example, user leave the system. And no one will lose any information. It will increase security of transfer the data, and also it will be kind of decentralization internet.
Are you right driver for server and client?
No. Right now we just reviewed the possibilities because before writing the driver for that stuff, we have to create all three applications. And between them, we are going to use exactly peer-to-peer protocol.
Okay.
Just to the slides from the beginning. To the next one.
This?
10.
10?
How files are divided into parts? And do the clients agree to keep this part?
Exactly. Right now, we're thinking that we're going to separate this file separately. The whole system, the whole algorithm will divide these files between each client randomly. We decided to set a flag. For example, if you want to upload movie 5 gigabyte and I want to upload movie by 10 gigabyte, our files or our pieces of these files in the system will have different flags. And for example, if Irina Karlovna want to see your movie, she will make the request to the system, and for example, if in online mode, she will just upload pieces of this file to watch this movie. I understand that currently this system is not the perfect, because we have to think about compressing the data. We have to think about the algorithm of setting the flags. But right now, the peer-to-peer protocol is on the stage of review.
Okay, please go to the slide with conclusions. No conclusions, no illusions.